Okay, before we dive in, let's just take a second, settle in wherever you are. No, not a forced one, just a slow, natural inhale. And let it go. Okay, now if you've been calling yourself lazy lately, maybe you feel like you should be doing more, trying harder, just being better, then yeah, this is for you. Because I want to offer a different possibility here. What if that feeling, that heaviness, isn't some flaw in your character? What if it's actually a signal, a sign that your system is just completely overwhelmed by everything it's carrying? Let's dig into that idea together. Somewhere along the way, I think a lot of us picked up this really dangerous idea that our self-worth is somehow tied to our productivity, that if we're still, we're failing. And these become the invisible rules that can end up running our lives, right? They create this constant, relentless pressure to perform, to optimize, to just achieve. And eventually, they become that nagging voice, that inner critic that's always telling us we're not doing enough. But here's the thing. That entire idea is built on a complete myth. Your energy, your focus, your creativity, they aren't mechanical things. They're natural. They're supposed to ebb and flow. I mean, expecting constant peak performance, that's like expecting the sun to shine at midnight. It's just not how it works. So a drop in energy, that's not a moral failing. It's just a sign. It's your system telling you that it needs to recover. Okay, so if it's not laziness, what is it? Well, mental exhaustion usually doesn't show up with a big, dramatic entrance. It's quiet, it's really subtle, and honestly, it's super easy to misinterpret. It's that feeling when you pick up your phone and then you just stare at the screen with absolutely no idea why you opened it, or when a simple choice like what's for dinner suddenly feels like this monumental, impossible task. See, that isn't a lack of discipline. That's the classic sign of a deeply, deeply depleted battery. And this right here, this is probably the most crucial distinction of all. Laziness is more like apathy. It doesn't really come with frustration or that desperate wish that you could feel better. But exhaustion, oh, it absolutely does. That guilt you feel, that constant nagging thought that you wish you had the energy to do more, that's the telltale sign. That's the proof. You're not lazy. You're exhausted. Now, this kind of deep exhaustion, it doesn't just show up out of nowhere. It's more like a slow leak. It builds up over time, and a lot of times it comes from sources we don't even see. So let's pull back the curtain and look at 3 of the biggest hidden drains on our energy. First up, there's just the constant mental noise. I mean, think about it. When was the last time your brain had real silence? It's always processing notifications, social media, the news, that quiet pressure of comparison. It never stops. Then there's the emotional weight we're all carrying. That unspoken stress, old disappointments, the fear of not being enough. All that stuff just sits there in the background, quietly siphoning off your energy. And finally, there's this thing of living in a low-level survival mode. Just trying to keep up, day in and day out, keeps your body in this state of chronic stress. And eventually, that just leads to burnout. So you've probably tried to rest, right? You scrolled through your phone, maybe you try to sleep more, you take a break, and yet you still feel tired. Why? Well, it's because not all rest is created equal. There's a huge fundamental difference between distraction and actual restoration. Think about it. Distraction, like endlessly scrolling on your phone, that's about numbing your mind. It's a temporary escape for sure, but it doesn't actually recharge you. Restoration, on the other hand, is active. It's about creating mental quiet. It's about allowing for emotional release. It's about finding space where there's zero pressure to be productive. See, true rest isn't just about stopping. It's about refilling. So where do we even begin with all this? How do we start to heal? Well, the most powerful first step, believe it or not, isn't about doing more. It's about changing the way you talk to yourself. It's all about reframing that inner voice. This one simple shift in language, it can change everything. Think about it. I'm lazy. That's a judgment. It's a permanent label you stick on yourself. But I might be overwhelmed. That's just an observation of a temporary state. The first one leads straight to shame, while the second one, that one opens the door to compassion and maybe even some solutions. And that leads us to the next step. Instead of asking that dead-end question, what's wrong with me, which just spirals into self-criticism, try asking this, what do I need right now? Can you feel the difference? It shifts your focus completely, from judgment to care.
It lets you respond to how you're feeling with clarity instead of shame. And the answer might be so simple. Maybe you just need a moment of silence, a glass of water, or just permission to do a little less. Look, you don't need to fix everything all at once. The last thing you need is another overwhelming project called Fix Myself. Now, the real goal here is to start small, to be gentle. Recovery really begins with these small, consistent acts of self-compassion.
So here are 4 really gentle places you can start. First, just reduce your input. Give your brain some breathing room. Second, do one gentle task, not the whole to-do list, just one small thing, and then let that be enough for today. Third, and this is a big one, allow yourself to pause without guilt. You don't have to earn your rest. It's a right. And finally, just check in with yourself. Ask with real curiosity, not judgment, what's draining me right now?
And as we start to wrap this up, I really want you to let this next part sink in. You are not behind. There's no universal timeline that you've somehow fallen off of. You are exactly where you need to be right now. And listen, you are not broken. Feeling this kind of exhaustion is a perfectly human response to being overwhelmed. It's not a sign of some defect. It's a sign that you have been strong for a very, very long time. And that's really the truth at the heart of all of this. You're not lazy. You're just carrying so much more than you probably even realize. The weight of your own expectations, the stress of the world, the constant demands of life, it's heavy. And it is absolutely okay to take your time putting that weight down. Healing is not a race. You don't have to figure everything out tonight. Just for now, just rest here for a moment. Come back to your breath. A slow inhale and a slow exhale. It's okay.